Let me go ahead and recognize the gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Green, or Dr. Green, for 5 minutes of questioning. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Barra, Chairman Barra. And I also want to thank Ranking Member Shabbat for holding this critically important hearing on the State Department's budget for the Indo-Pacific region. And I'm particularly eager to hear from our witnesses today, since we were unable to hold this, I think it was last year, the hearing last year. You know, America's leadership in the Indo-Pacific is essential. We're a Pacific nation. Our freedom is critical to this region. Our allies' freedom in the Indo-Pacific is also critical, and they need us to have a robust presence in the world's most populous region to counter China's malign influence on its neighbors and our friends. On this committee, we recognize diplomatic and soft power as some of our most potent tools to advance the American interest in Asia. When given the choice, the people of the Indo-Pacific choose to live in free, open, and prosperous societies allied with the United States. But the Chinese Communist Party is seeking to rob them of that choice. The Biden administration has talked a good game on countering the China threat, and I commend actions like AUKUS, the submarine deal with our Quad partner, Australia, as a step in the right direction. But the reality of President Biden's leadership in the Pacific, I would suggest, is lacking. With significant real dollar cuts in the foreign military financing account with our closest defense partners in the region, such as India, while radical climate proposal funding skyrockets, this budget is more interested in pleasing a liberal domestic audience than matching the pacing threat from China. In fact, just a few short weeks ago, Special Envoy for Climate Change, John Kerry, said at the Davos World Economic Forum that, and I quote, "Maybe we can help with technology of some kind to help China move faster," end quote. That doesn't sound like the language of a diplomat who takes the China threat seriously. What it sounds like is someone who has a fundamentally flawed understanding of what the Chinese Communist Party is and what it wants in the region and the world, and I might add, what the Chinese have done to steal allies from the United States through its Belt and Road Initiative, what it's done to steal the technology of our businesses and put some of those businesses out of business, companies out of business, and steal our own military technology. The CCP has always had the express purpose and goal of oppressing their own people and conquering their neighbors. But many of our top diplomats in the Biden State Department don't seem to understand this reality. I hope that more sensible heads at the Department of State can prevail and that our diplomats can be empowered to lead for American interests in the Indo-Pacific. And I look forward to asking a few questions. Assistant Secretary Liu, can you clarify what Special Envoy Kerry's remarks meant regarding helping China move faster on technology? Doesn't the CCP steal enough of our technology as it is?
Thank you for the question. I have not heard that comment myself, and nor do I have the background to know what former Secretary Kerry meant by it.
Well, here's another question for you too, then, Mr. Assistant Secretary. If China decided to invade Taiwan, are you guys going to continue to hold climate change talks with the CCP?
I'm going to yield that to my colleague, Camille Dawson.
On that question, I would say that we have made clear there are areas of potential cooperation with China, including climate, but that that issues such as climate will not prevent us from competing with China where we must.
Well, I mean, you know, the question is if they invade Taiwan, you know, taking 94%, I mean, Taiwan makes 94% of the high-end semiconductors. We can't make a fighter plane or a missile, right, if they invade Taiwan. So they make 94% of the world's high-end semiconductors. So if they invade Taiwan, am I hearing you correctly that there are areas where we would still cooperate with China?
I was speaking to the current situation where we talk about areas in which we are.
Yeah, my question is, what happens if they invade Taiwan? Are we're going to keep talking to them about climate?
I can't go into a hypothetical, but no, I would expect our priorities would shift considerably in that instance.
Well, that's really good to hear. I had some other questions. I'll send them in writing. I'm out of time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.